Domenico here in the Room podcast with a very well-known New England fighter making his Bellator debut this Thursday night, November 12th at Bellator 252. We have Trevor Scarecrow Gudde in the house. Trevor, man, welcome to the show. It's fight week. You're cutting weight. You're locked in your hotel room, man, but how you doing?
I'm doing well. This has been a wild experience. I've never fought in anything nearly this big before. Everybody's been real cool. There's crazy protocol packets that we have to follow everything to the letter, or else they'll cancel our fight. I was part of an hour and a half rule meeting on Zoom earlier. It's been wild, yeah.
Excellent. Well, and it's an experience that you'll get off that bucket list, and you went through it, man. Bellator's been in town, been in New England, been at Mohegan Sun for some time now. Lots of fights there, and they've been using a lot of our New England fighters, big up-and-comers, and, big fighters in town. How's it feel to fight for Bellator the first time? Your whole career was spent in the Cage Titans cage, popular New England regional MMA fight promotion, but you're at Bellator, man. How's it feel to go from there into the biggest stage in the world?
It feels huge. It's awesome. This is like the dream call, this is the fight that everybody kind of like wants, that boosts their, career to that next level. And the Bellator people have been awesome. It's one of those where it's like the whole pandemic thing has been terrible, obviously, but as a fighter, if you are ready, they're kind of looking for anybody right now because it's harder to travel, it's harder to get people in here. So as soon as I said I was ready, we had probably 3 Bellator calls that fell through, where they asked for me to do a last minute thing. I cut the weight. Me and my coach Eric did all the work. We had a 1-week call, a 2-week call, and then a month call that all got called off. But I was ready every time. I always was on weight and ready to go. And then they told us that Gracie wanted to fight us, and it was like, that's the dream. That's what we wanted.
Excellent. And you get that fight booked, and then it gets rescheduled because he comes with an injury. Now, how was that? You had a few fights fall through. Then you get this fight locked in against Khonry Gracie. Sorry, I didn't even mention his name in the beginning, but it's all about you tonight, my man. How did it feel to them fights to fall through and then, get this shot, and then all of a sudden he gets injured and you got to wait again?
I don't think I've fought since over a year now. It's been like a year and a month. I've had so many fights fall through that I was ready for, that I did the full cut. The medicals are hella expensive, everything like that. So when he got injured, it was almost a, like, of course feeling. Like, there was that moment where I was like, this is how it fucking works, I guess. It was cool. We found out pretty much immediately that they had no plans on getting us a new opponent, that we were going to try to fight him anyway, which tells me that he wasn't super hurt. I think he wanted more time to get ready for this, which I understand. I would too. But I feel I've never felt more ready. I've been in fight camp so long that this has been an incredibly easy weight cut and everything. Like, we were so ready for this that even when it was rescheduled, it was like, all right, fine, whatever, let's do it. As long as Bellator still wants us, as long as it's the same name, like, I'll do the sacrifices for it.
Excellent. Well, Conrad Gracie, man, this is going to be his 4th fight for Bellator. He's 2-1 there. Lost his first fight for Bellator, but he's not been very active. I mean, this isn't the first fight that's fallen through. I don't know for his fault or his opponent's fault, but since 2018, when he made his debut for them, I mean, he's only, he's fought 4 times. And it seems like he's picking and choosing the fights in between there. But were you offered him, or how'd that fight come about again?
He was offered a list of people to choose from because he's Conrad Gracie. I think my 1-1 record actually helped in this aspect, especially since I lost to submission in that first one with John Adams, that crazy leg triangle thing he did. I think he saw that and was like, perfect, like, he lost by submission. If I get panicky, I can just take him down and beat him. And then I feel like there's a chance that he looked a little farther into it and saw my amateur record, saw my Muay Thai fights. I have decorated jiu-jitsu stuff going on. I'm a real high-level brown belt. I think he is either a brown belt or a recent black belt. So I'm not even that terribly concerned about going to the ground. Yeah, no, but he had a list of people. We were told that we were put on his list and that he was going to decide, go through it with his family and pick out a person. And then like a month later, we got a call that it was like between me and two other people. And then a week later, Eric calls me just freaking the fuck out. It's like, we got the Gracie fight. We're in. We're doing it.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
It's been a ride. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, I mean, you've been doing it for so much longer than him. I mean, your cage time is far, far, far more than his. What are you thinking about as far as the matchup? I mean, we're expected to hit the ground because every one of his fights, I mean, that's where he wants to go. I mean, he's had trouble in his first fight. He went to a decision in his second fight, and he finally, I believe his third fight is when he got a finish, but it was against the guy that, was maybe 10 years older than him. He's going against another young, as you said, another brown belt who is a specialist on the ground. I mean, Gudde, you've been submitting people since 2016. You know what I mean? So, how you feel about this fight? Are you more focusing on the groundwork because you know that's what he's going to try to do? Or are you mixing it up at training camp also?
It's been pretty mixed. We have working with us a couple of guys that are just taking us to the next level. Devin Van Cura is a wrestler we've been working with. He was number 2 in the nation for Penn State like a couple of years ago, and our wrestling has just skyrocketed thanks to him. Between that and how my stand-up's been going, getting to work with like Steve Walker and some of the Hard Knocks guys, we've gotten to go up to Nostos a few times and train with them. Devin Powell, I got to train with my old opponent Ross Danner. That was wild.
Nice.
That was the first time I'd trained with him since we fought 4 years ago. So I don't know. I'm not terribly concerned about wherever it goes. The plan is to keep it on the feet. I'd really like to elbow his face off. I'd love to win by referee or doctor stoppage. That's kind of the plan. But wherever it goes, I'll feel fine. Obviously, like, I'd like to play to my strengths more than his. If I can keep the distance, if I can keep it on the feet. A couple of the guys that he fought were jokes. The guy that he went to a decision with for the win was like a 135er that came up to 170 to fight him. And then the other guy that he armbarred stuck his arm into an armbar against the cage. And both of those were difficult to watch. And then his first fight was a blackout fight for Bellator, so I can't find any footage on it. And he's got one amateur fight. So it's one of those where I feel tougher, like I feel very unconcerned about wherever this goes right now. And I'm waiting for that fire to kick in, that nerve, that like adrenaline dump feeling. But right now it's like, I'm more concerned about making sure I go to the right appointment tomorrow morning at 9 to do like my COVID thing.
Yeah.
That I can like find the room. It took us forever to find the room to this morning. We were like 15, 20 minutes late.
Well, I mean, you got the guys in the white suits probably floating around in there spraying things down as you walk. It's a little confusing nowadays during, fighting through COVID.
Yeah. Oh, and it's funny. Me and my team wandered through the casino for 15, 20 minutes trying to find the room. And there's guys set up every now and then at these little Bellator booths that are just there to find the fighters. Yeah. And he literally stood up and ran over to us, and he didn't even ask if we were fighters. He was just like, yo, you guys need to go around that corner down there. It was awesome. Like, oh, thank you, man. Yes. Awesome. This is great.
Awesome. Yeah, they're used to it by now. With Bellator being at the Mohegan Sun, I mean, it's kind of like clockwork how they're working things out. Trevor, I mean, you fought your whole career at Cage Titans where the crowd will be blowing off the roof. We know, the atmosphere in that place. Now you're fighting Bellator, one of the biggest stages in MMA, but it's going to be no crowd. Does that make a difference with you? What's the feeling like going in there and knowing, it's only going to be commentators, media, and just cameramen watching you?
So I think it'll be interesting in a couple different aspects. I love to talk during my fights. I talk to my opponents. I like to say things quietly in their ear when they're in the clinch position, stuff like that. I love to get in people's heads. The idea that everybody will be able to hear everything I say to my opponent is a little concerning to me. And in the rules meeting, they actually warned us to keep it, PG-13. Like, they were like, we will dock your pay if you're in there yelling fuck a whole bunch. And it was like, okay, all right, noted. Yeah, I got to remember that. I think it will take away from the Gracie allure a little bit. There's not going to be an eruption when he walks in. I don't think he's going to get away with the same amount of stuff that he can normally get away with because the ref will be a little more focused on what's going on. I mean, his dad and Henzo are going to be in his corner. Like every little advantage that they could have is theirs. But I think it being all silent in there will be, if anything, an advantage to me. Like this is a weird fight, but I've fought in weird fights before, you know? Like I've had so many last minute switches and crazy shit happen right before the fight went down that I'm not worried about fighting in a chaotic environment, and I think he will be. As like a rich kid that's kind of gotten to choose his fights, I think this will affect him more than it affects me.
Excellent, my man. Well, last question before I let you get your shout outs. Now, I know you're cutting weight. You got a bunch of stuff going on. What do we expect to see out of Trevor since September 2019 when you came away with that first round finish, man? What do we expect to see from you, Bellator 252?
I hoped to finish with elbow strikes. I would love to finish with elbow strikes. But realistically, this is going to be one where a win is more important than a highlight reel. If I can beat this guy, I have a real chance at a legit Bellator contract. If I can beat him excitingly, it's just even better. But we're going to play it fairly safe at the beginning until I can get him to panic shoot, until I can make him the scared jiu-jitsu guy. And then it's no holds barred. Then it's whatever I want to do. So the plan is to frustrate him, I guess. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you're going to be, I think, the first or second fight on the preliminary card. It's going to be aired on YouTube. So all of New England's going to be all over you. And, you know, all the country is also, and the country of Brazil and all around there, because their boy is fighting in the United States and Mohegan Sun, your territory, brother. So that place is going to erupt. Even though there's not fans there, you'll be feeling us in New England, brother.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Hoist shared the fight on his Instagram, and I had that moment of like, whoa, this is big. Like 1 million some odd people just saw that this is happening. Like, damn, this is fun.
Excellent. Shout outs, sponsors, anyone, any special things you want to say, and I'll let you go, man.
Awesome, appreciate it. I got to shout out Hippie Chris at Green Street Massage. He is my PT guy, one of my best teammates, and is here working with me. If you guys are a serious fighter and you want to fight without injury, start working with Green Street Massage. A bunch of the other fighters have started working with him too. That's like the biggest sponsor for the last 10 fights I've had. He's been like the best. So I really want to give him a big shout out. He took a week off work to come up here and get quarantined with us. I appreciate the hell out of him. And then Citadel Martial Arts, Eric Grossman, Coach Eric, couldn't do any of this without him. He's the man. Yeah. And then I'm Trevor Gudde on Instagram. I'm Trevor Gudde on Facebook. Look me up, give me a follow. But yeah, this is gonna be sick.
Excellent, my man. Well, congratulations, man, for making it to the big stage here, Bellator MMA, in your, I gotta say, your home world here, because New England is our territory, brother. And can't wait to see you next Thursday night, man, putting on a show, brother. Good luck out there, and thanks for the time, Trevor. I really, really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I appreciate it.
All right, bro.